GoForThe2.com in with the Week 5 college predictions. Again, apologies for the late delay in the video. I'm covering in-game action on every Monday and Thursday night for Sports Grid. We have you covered for the NFL action every Monday and Thursday, doubleheader, single game. We get you covered right from about 7 o'clock straight through midnight. So the videos for college most likely moving forward will come out on Tuesday. I'll try to get them out sooner, but due to the work week, this is what we have. Again, bad week last week, looking to rebound in a big way. So let's jump right into it. It's going to be more of a rapid-fire video, 7 selections, and then I'll touch base throughout the week. And then obviously on college football today on Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern, straight through kickoff, Sirius Channel 159 and SportsGrid.com for the video portion. Let's jump right into the SEC's oldest rivalry, Auburn and Georgia. You saw Georgia last weekend almost strike the upset. They fall behind 28-0 in Tuscaloosa to Jalen Milroe. They do make a monumental comeback, 34-33 with Carson Beck in that passing attack. But in the final 2 minutes, Ryan Williams seals the deal. 75-yard touchdown reception. The interception in the end zone gives the Alabama Crimson Tide the 7-point win, 41-34. Even though Georgia played well in the second half, they have to clean it up. In my opinion, no margin of error moving forward, especially if you're looking to get back to the SEC championship game, potentially have a bye. It starts this weekend against the Auburn Tigers. Here's the bottom line, and I've talked about this situation with Auburn. They had that game signed, sealed, and delivered against Oklahoma. They had Peyton Thorne at the quarterback. They were moving the football a little bit in regards to the first half, built that first half lead against Hawkins. Towns Magoo misses 3 field goals. You can't have that. You could have sealed the deal in the second half. The critical interception by Oklahoma changes the whole complexity within the last 5 minutes, and they steal one, 24-21. This is a bigger picture for Auburn. Forget the spread right now. It's 24 and a half. This is an internal situation with Hugh Freeze, in my opinion. He's calling out players. The players, former players like Bo Wallace at Ole Miss, have said he's a selfish coach. That is a bad recipe, in my opinion, moving into SEC conference play. They had a conference opponent at home. They've now dropped back-to-back games against Arkansas and Oklahoma at home. They now go on the road to face their rival that's coming off a bitter loss. Here's the other factor why I do not like and would not back Auburn in any capacity. -11 in turnover margin. Team is undisciplined, committing turnovers, not forcing enough turnovers to make up for it. They're putting their offense at a significant disadvantage. And unfortunately, Peyton Thorne, Hank Brown, whoever they roll out there for quarterback for Auburn is a one-dimensional quarterback. They don't have the athleticism of a Hawkins for Oklahoma or any other type of mobile quarterback like Jalen Milroe, the Heisman Trophy frontrunner that could put pressure on Georgia's defense. He's stationary. I think they got multiple sacks. I think Carson Beck breaks out in a big way, and I think Georgia does cover the 24.5-point number fairly easy Saturday afternoon in Athens, like Georgia to cover minus the 24.5. Another matchup, I'm going to close my eyes on a lot of dogs this week, but I think they're live. Iowa on the road in Columbus against Ohio State. Ohio State, a prolific offense. You see Quinshawn Junkins and that rushing attack taking over. Will Howard, Emeka Egbuka, you name it. Ohio State has playmakers. We know how this situation typically plays out when Ohio State plays Iowa, right? For the most part, one-dimensional offense in Iowa. They're averaging 250 yards on the ground with Caleb Johnson, their lead running back, but defensively still sound. They're only giving up 13 points per game, 62 rushing yards per game. I'm going to roll the dice here and take Iowa. I think Iowa could keep it close. I am not sold on Will Howard. I'll continue to say this. He is not C.J. Stroud, in my opinion. He is not Justin Fields. And I think that's the biggest factor when I look at Ohio State now to even where maybe they were with Kyle McCord last year and even years ago. I'm not sold on Will Howard. I think he's a little bit inconsistent, a little bit turnover prone. This is the biggest atmosphere that he's played on moving from Kansas State to Ohio State and Columbus. I know he's mobile. I know they have the athleticism, but give me Iowa to keep this game close. I think it's an ugly game. They can grind it out. If they can run the football, they'll be in it. I know if Ohio State jumps out early, it's lights out, but give me the 20.5 with Iowa in terms of this matchup Saturday afternoon. Another Big Ten dog. Northwestern. Hasn't looked good, but they're coming out of a bye week. They moved on from Anthony Wright, the former Vanderbilt quarterback, to Jack Losh. Cam Porter's been banged up, but they do have an extra week of preparation. Another crazy line. It's 14.5. Indiana could be bowl eligible. Great job by Kurt Signetti in year number 1. 5-0 right now. Curtis Rourke and that offense put up another 42 points. They get the win in the cover against Maryland. This team is hitting on all cylinders heading into this matchup. They do have the better offense, do maybe have the better defense in regards to this matchup, but it is a Big Ten game. It's the fact that Indiana, in my opinion, could be pressing to become bowl eligible. They're laying 2 touchdowns on the road. It's only their second road game. I like Northwestern coming out of the bye week to at least make this game ugly somehow, some way. Give me the Wildcats plus the 14.5 in regards to that matchup. Another game in the Big 12. Arizona steps up. They knock out Utah 23-10. They did it in back-to-back years. Noah Fafita and that offense proved just enough against Utah to put the pressure on Isaac Wilson. They became one-dimensional. I just thought it was a bad matchup for Utah. They typically, in my opinion, struggle with speed teams, Oregon, UCLA in recent years, and that's what Arizona is. Now Arizona comes back home. It's under the lights in the desert in Tucson. Texas Tech, typically not a very good road team, but 2-0 in the conference right now. Forget the game against Washington State a couple of weeks ago against John Mateer. This offense is humming right now. Brennan Morton, Taj Brooks running the football. Unbelievable right now. When Taj Brooks is in that lineup, Texas Tech is a different team. They jumped up early against Cincinnati, jumped up early as well against Arizona State, and that defense is proven a bend but don't break unit. This could be a shootout in Tucson, but you want to give me 6.5 points with Joey McGuire on the road. This was my pick to win the Big 12. Call me crazy. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I like Texas Tech plus the 6.5. Wouldn't be shocked if they strike the upset Saturday night on the road against the Wildcats. Another big battle, Texas A&M, Missouri. We saw Texas A&M step up in regards to that matchup against Arkansas. They get the win, but no cover against Taylon Green. That game was played on a neutral field. Marcel Reed stepped up, made enough plays in regards to that matchup. Defense held Jaquindon Jackson and Taylon Green in check for much of the second half. They fell behind 14-7, rebounded in a big way to win at 21-17. They're now laying 2 against Missouri. I know Missouri has the better quarterback. I know Missouri potentially has the better skill players, but College Station, very difficult place to play. You have Missouri on the road. This is Mike Elko's game here. This is, again, another game where Mike Elko potentially can make a statement. I'm going to lay the 2 points with the Aggies, hope the home field advantage. Hopefully, Le'Veon Moss and that offense can run the football on Missouri. They've been living dangerously all year. Give me the Aggies minus the 2 to knock off the Missouri Tigers. Another crazy line. You got Michigan on the road against Washington catching 2.5 points. I understand that Washington is a very difficult place to play. I understand that Alex Orji and that offense, especially in the second half against Minnesota, got shot down. They've won back-to-back games by 3 points, but I do not believe in Will Rogers in any capacity in a big matchup. Not a knock. I've just watched him for years against Mississippi State, against Alabama, never come through in terms of elite defenses. When you look at Washington, they struggled last week, 21-18. They now come back home. I think they're making this line so people are thinking, why is Michigan underdogs? Maybe Washington is the right side. I'm not buying it. Give me the Wolverines to grind out yet another victory. They're 4-1 overall, undefeated in regards to the Big Ten, and that's all that matters. Conference game, look for the rushing attack to take over. Alex Orji might not throw it. Maybe one attempt in regards to this ball game. They could grind it out just the way Rutgers did. I like Michigan plus the 2.5. I think they win the ball game outright on the road in Seattle Saturday night. So those are the 7 picks. Let me just go through them again. Michigan plus the 2.5. Iowa plus the 20.5. Northwestern plus the 14.5. Texas Tech plus the 6.5. A&M minus the 2. Georgia minus the 24.5. And I'll give you one more. That's only 6. I apologize. Arkansas plus the 14 at home against Tennessee. Going to be a Saturday night game in Fayetteville. I don't care how good Nico has looked. I don't care how good that defense for Tennessee has looked. If you've watched and followed college football for years, these games, Tennessee, Arkansas are crazy, especially in Fayetteville. Go back to the days of DeCourty Birmingham, Matt Jones, Houston Nutt. You could go on and on. Uh, McFadden and that offense back in the day. I mean, these games go down to the wire. Sometimes from a series perspective, certain teams just play tough. I like Jaquindon Jackson. I like Taylon Green's mobility. Tennessee might win, no doubt. Tennessee might win this game. But again, Sam Pittman, as a dog, this team is still playing very well. They're in each and every game. Give me the 14 points with Arkansas. Let me go through the picks again. Georgia, minus the 24.5 against Auburn. Texas A&M, minus the 2 against Missouri. We got Michigan, plus the 2.5 against Washington. Iowa, plus the 20.5 against Ohio State. Northwestern, plus the 14.5 against Indiana. Who else? Talk to me. Texas Tech, plus the 6.5. I got to read them off. It's been a long day. Texas A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech, Arkansas, Northwestern, Iowa, Michigan, your 7 picks. I'll see you next week.